3 times in a week against, quality quad 1 teams should give you a confidence to that. But again, I also don't want our guys to lose sight of, where people had us projected and where we were and where we've come from, because you have to play with that type of urgency. You can't ever get comfortable.
Ben, we saw you talked about Lukai and his poor shooting at the start of the year. What did he do to kind of work his way through that?
He just got in the gym really a lot and just never wavered from like what he was doing. I think in our offense he got more and more comfortable with where he was going to get shots at. It's different. Last year when you're the guy, you're able to kind of start games and play through stuff a lot quicker. And when you're dominating the ball like that, it's just a different deal. Whereas here now, with different pieces, he kind of had to feel his way through that. But just living in the gym, he was in there in the mornings, he was in there before practice, after practice, just determined. And he knew that, wasn't going to guarantee makes, but they put you in a better position, and he never lost his confidence.
Was it difficult for him to come home, seeing everybody in the crowd?
I don't know. You might have to ask him on that one. If anything, just you want it so bad sometimes, with all these guys, but especially guys are from here. Sometimes you want it so bad and you want to play so well that that can kind of impact it early. And then once you relax and calm down, I think everything kind of evens out. And I forget what game it was. I know he shot me a text that he knew he was close, and so that made me feel good, because it's like, you just never know if a guy is questioning. And when he shot me that text, it kind of backed what I thought, because I never thought that he lost confidence. And when he shot me that text that said that, I was like, okay, we're gonna be good.
When he got those 2 fouls early, your offense changed quite a bit. And not that Mike or Isaac or whoever can handle it without him, because they've done it, but how did that affect your flow?
Yeah, no, it did. The hard part is, there's 2 fouls in the first 45 seconds. And so
less than that, right?
Yeah, and it just, it just the flow. When you get 2 like that on one guy, not only does it affect him, but just everybody else. Now you get cautious, because you see those 2 bang bangs, and now you're going, okay, is this game going to be called this tight? And it just kind of stalls the rhythm, and it does. It takes your aggressiveness out when you're the team like that, because you see it and you're going, okay, what can't I do? And that you're not able to feel your way through the game. So I think that's the hardest part. Obviously it hurts the player, but you can just feel the rest of the guys going like, oh man, this is called tight today. And so you just got to find a way to play your way through it. And again, I thought, as choppy and ugly as it was, they had 23 points with 2 minutes to go, and then Trey goes on his run. And so it's like, again, all those things that you don't do great, you're still in the game, but then you have that slip up and you let a guy go crazy, and then now that flips it.
How does the way Dawson started the game, and then he finally got going and he got his 20, but the way the game started, it was like, he's had a couple games like that this year where just no matter what, he just couldn't get it going. And then, it's hard for you guys to win when he's not playing well, and then all of a sudden he was. And how do you figure that out when every team, like you said, they got another big back? They're going to try to start the game shutting him down.
Yeah, I think they obviously there was a huge point of emphasis, not just the guy guarding him, but everybody had their eyes on Dawson that game.
Right.
And again, like that first 20 minutes for us for sure was just super choppy, which nobody got into a rhythm. And credit to them, but some of us too. I think it was just, we were shook for whatever reason. I don't know if it was the early fouls of Kai or just, the first play of the game. I thought we had something at the rim or maybe a dump off. And just when you're on the road in that type of environment and the first couple plays are just choppy, the maturity of your team has to take over. You can't get shook by that. And it just snowballed. So the rhythm for everybody was so off those first 20 minutes. And that's what you get. Even your really good players, they just, if you're not in it, you're not in that rhythm, it doesn't flow right.
Ben, and when you get those court storm type wins, or just being a top 25 team, do you think does that help you with the next maybe Minnesota kid and junior or something? And does it make it or is that too oversimplified to think?
Yeah. No, I think we had a couple of recruits at the game, and it doesn't hurt for sure. Right. It doesn't hurt. But yeah, I think that, and hopefully you want it to also help the fans, like the students that come to the games. Like that's the big thing, because they're feeling the environment, and there's a sense of like, all right, I sat through an entire game, start to finish, cheered, helped my team win, we won, and now we all can feel a part of it. And to me, that's the biggest thing about the Court Storm, is like you get to reward the students for showing up, but then hopefully they understand that they had a major impact in that, and then they get to go enjoy the win and hopefully feel a part of the team for whatever, that 2, 3, 5 minutes. But no, definitely recruits, they feel that 100%. But even the images that you're able to send out to guys or you're able to see are pretty cool, but it just it stamps a lot of things.
Ben, philosophically speaking, if the junior colleges, if eligibility doesn't count against junior colleges, which is really what hockey's been doing forever, right? How would that change? Because the junior colleges look like they might be dying in terms of sending players to the transfer portal. But that changes the game again in a big way, doesn't it? If who you're recruiting and if junior college eligibility doesn't count against you, I mean, that's a huge game changer, just like the portal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it could significantly help junior colleges in terms of being able to get some of these high school kids that aren't recruited, for whatever reason. Because now you can go to a prep school, but that's normally just 1 year, depending on when you go. Or you go to a junior college and basically you're redshirting for 2 years. You're not losing any eligibility. You're playing a college-type schedule. You got college-type coaches. You're playing against grown men in the junior colleges. So that could be something where they view that almost as like a prep school version type, without losing your eligibility. I just think it's really gotten hard on high school kids now.
Yeah, you're barely going to have to go to high school games anymore, because between the portal and for junior colleges, I mean, it's all right there.
Well, not only that, but we're obviously in a competitive environment, and you could be the greatest high school player. It's really hard when you're going against older bodies. I mean, it just is. Across the country, it is. And not that nobody's going to recruit high school kids, but you also got to know, okay, what is our league doing? If your league's not getting young and they're staying old, you don't have a choice then, right? If you want to keep up with the Joneses, you've got to recruit how everybody else is recruiting, whether that's transfers or whatever you're doing. And so it forces your hand a little bit, and that's where I think you're really hitting. Like the elite kids obviously will get recruited, but the kids that are a step below that and below that and below that, I just think it's got potential to be really tight because of the climate that it's in now. And to your point, the days of having a 5 or 6 person recruiting class like we kind of did in year 2, those will never happen. And now you're adding money in. So now the other piece that I don't know if people think about is, all right, how many guys are going to spread their money thin now, like revenue sharing, and pay for over 10, 11 guys, versus, okay, if you're going to put all your money in, you've got to pour 7 or 8 good ones, Then the other ones, you're just maybe getting a scholarship, or you're getting, something.
The older guy that can just play 5 minutes.
Yeah, or you're getting a transfer that just wants to have the high major experience. So there's so many different formulas now. And again, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, that's going to really impact high school players.
Ben, you guys had a discussion about Brennan?
Have not. No. I think some of the twos, I don't even know officially what the rap rule is. And then I think I heard yesterday something about a Division II person now, I don't know if it was a male or female, that now has petitioned for the same thing. So, and then there's a rule about the 5th year. I think they're trying to figure that out now. So there's 3 things out there that no one has any idea on what's going to happen. My point is, we've obviously got the portal coming up. It would be nice to know what options you have. And then you have ref share. It'd be really nice to know when you finally now have some legit money, what your options are. Because there's obviously a lot of good players in junior college, and there's a lot of good players, that could have another year back that haven't used their 5th year, where you would like to know that, and not in the summer when it's too late. So
I know volleyball hired like a GM type of role to handle some of the revenue sharing and understanding, like, okay, if there's a cap and all that kind of stuff. Is that something that you've talked to Mark about, maybe for basketball?
Yeah, I know they've talked about it as a department. I think, again, it's an ongoing, situation. I think too, a lot of it will depend on just the flow, like how, like this year will obviously be different than last year. And so getting a feel for like, okay, what truly matters? You know, what do agents care about? What does the portal care about? Because we all could have, you know, certain cap rules, and each coach does. Like, you're only going to go this much for this player. You're going to, you know, categorize players at this level making X amount. But sometimes the market also can dictate that too, to a certain degree. So I do think having, you know, somebody in that position is beneficial, even for some outside thoughts, not just with the money thing, but just with, you know, doing homework and doing research throughout the year on trends or like what works. I think all that stuff is good, but I know, you know, Mark has always, you know, talked about just internally what can we do to keep up with the Joneses and be like other schools, to make sure that in this landscape we're always, you know, up to par with what we're trying to do.
With all the work that you guys did to get your 3 straight Big Ten wins and then having the result like you did Tuesday, do you get concerned at all with this team's confidence, or is that not really an issue right now?
No, I think, you know, obviously we played a really, really good team. I was just more disappointed in just I thought the environment impacted how we played, and credit to them, and that was it was like a zoo in there. But it was good because we had never gone through that. These guys, you could tell them to your blue in the face, like, fellas, when you beat 2 ranked teams, you beat Iowa on the road, like Michigan State, you're gonna get the best prep they've had for the year. You know, a team that's expected and trying to win a Big Ten championship that hasn't lost since Maui, they're not taking you lightly. It's gonna be ramped up even more. They're gonna treat that like, you know, a NCAA tournament game with just the detail and all that. We had never experienced it, so I think the first couple minutes was like, whoa. But that's what happens. That's why winning's so hard, because the more you win, the more you earn respect, and the more you earn attention. And so we went through it, but now it's like, okay, you've experienced that. We needed to, because that's what it needs to look like for us with everybody else. That type of intensity, that type of atmosphere, that type of just physicality. If we want to end this thing on a good note, we have to bottle that up. So I do, in a odd way, like that we went through that, so that now I can reference that back and say, okay, was that ball pressure, was that rotation, was that physicality like we faced at Michigan State? Because you know what that looks and felt like. And so now that's the expectation. And so I think there was definitely some positives from that.
Michigan State.
You know, going into Michigan State, you know, it's gonna be a tough one. The atmosphere, and then, you know, just know what time Izzo is. So, I feel like we prepared ourselves. You know, kind of, you know, the first 2 fouls kind of, with me, kind of got us off our rhythm, kind of, I could say. Just not having me out there, I feel like, was kind of huge, but ain't nothing to bounce back. You know, we still got the same momentum as when we were winning in 3 games, so it is what it is.
But Washington, you know what it is?
Washington's a very talented team, I think. You know, I feel like it only takes one, so I feel like they're foaming at the mouth right now just to get one. I heard they had the second hardest Big Ten schedule besides us in Northwestern, so you know, I know they're coming in looking for a win, and you know, we're just sitting here trying to, you know, defend our home court.
What did you think of just the way you guys played the last 2 home games and the atmosphere, and hoping that carries over to Saturday?
Yeah, the fans, man. Just having our student section back, you could tell that's just like a big thing for us. We feed off their energy, feed off the fans' energy. You know, when they packed the house, those 2 games we play ranked opponents. You can just tell we feed off them a lot. So just, you know, having them here with the fans, you know, just being home, you know, it just feels good to have that energy around us.
Okay, what did you try to do to get through some of the early season shooting struggles you had?
You know, just staying consistent, just trying to stay in the gym, not really trying to get in my head about it. I know I'm not shooting the best right now, but you know, just like I said, just staying in the gym, just being consistent with my work. You know, my time will come. You know, so I'm not, you know, not really trying to trip on that. I'm really worried about winning. And yeah, and I just feel like, you know, when shots fall, shots gonna fall. You know, ain't nothing. You know, I just gotta keep control what I control, and that's staying in the gym and trying to get these wins for the team.
Ben mentioned a game where you shot him a text message saying you were close. Do you remember when that was? And
You talking about Ben?
yeah.
Oh yeah. just asking him like what he sees, if it what he feels like I need to shoot with more confidence, or if that I need to take better shots or open shots. I feel like a lot of my shooting came from a lot of last second buzzer beaters, so I can feel like that's kind of I'm looking at it like they're kind of like grenades, so I feel like that's kind of why my percentage is kind of low, but. No, just him instilling confidence in me, just telling me to keep shooting. Came from one of my best seasons last year, so ain't no reason why I shouldn't be confident shooting the ball. So he just keeps telling me to shoot the ball. Him and all the other coaches, getting in the gym with me and telling me don't pass up my looks.
You ever pop in that black and white footage of Lucas? He told me he had the stroke back in the day.
Yeah.
He said if he just shoots like me, everything will be fine.
He shows me them clips like oh my god every 3 months. So I definitely try to take some pointers from him. Just knowing how good of a shooter he was. But he instills confidence in me. Working with me every day. Talking to me. It's good to have a pops to that play basketball at a high level and tell you what you need to do. It really helps me elevate my game. So.
Your brother's doing all right too.
Oh yeah, no, he's a killer right now. He's shooting a lot better than me. He had a couple little 40-point games, so he should be on the lookout for him. So.
What is doing something like experiencing a core storm like last week, and what does that do for your confidence to try and keep this thing going the rest of the season?
Yeah, you don't have court storms like that. A lot of teams don't have court storms like that unless you beat a ranked opponent. So just to have two in a 9-day span or something like that, that's big time. So hopefully we can keep this good energy going and keep these winds flowing and have a couple more court storms. So I feel like it brings the fans together and makes them want to come. And, be a part of something that could be really good.
You've been playing fairly well, even though Michigan State didn't go well. What does this do for you?
Yeah, it feels really good, especially with the fans that we've been having lately. And we talk about it, like the energy we have on this court.
And like just the start of the Michigan State game, it was kind of flip, right, where their energy was a little hard to overcome.
Yeah, they just came out punches in the mouth, and we didn't combat that, but we're on to the next one and ready for this game.
When you look at the way Lukai, when he was out, how does that affect just the offense? I know you guys play well together, and not that you couldn't handle it without him, but in that kind of atmosphere, in that environment.
For sure, it messes up our flow. Like, he's been playing 30-plus minutes a game for us the whole year, and he got 2 fouls in 30 seconds. I don't think I've ever seen that before in a basketball game. So,
Mike, you mentioned getting hit in the mouth. When you do the work you do to win 3 straight in the Big Ten, then you have that happen Tuesday night. What do you do to make sure that doesn't linger and affect your confidence going forward?
Just keep staying with the same confidence we've been having, and just move on to the next one. Like I keep telling everybody that it's a tough league, and you're gonna have some tough games like last games. It's just how you regroup from that. And, we'll regroup tomorrow. So.
What's Big Frank do for you guys? They always talk about being protect guards and shooters. What does he do for you as a physical person?
He brings the tenacity and toughness. He's always going to bring it every single game, every single day. He gives us that presence.
Ben said that Lukai kind of talked to him, after games about how can I get my confidence back. When you went through ups and downs, how did you kind of get out of it, and if you help some of the other guys like Family or Lukai?
Yeah, I do my same workout every day, and I've had the same confidence since I've been little, and that's never been out.
How much do you talk to Femi and Lukai about, like, if they're going through shooting, slumps here, and how they can try to overcome that?
Just sticking with your same routine, doing that every day. And you're here for a reason, so just keep proving people why you're here.